you have been working with some of the most elite athletes on this planet. And I'm wondering, what are the key metrics that you tested up upon these elite athletes so that you can really see what's going on, what's working, what's not working? Just to name a few here: Evander Holyfield, Zhao Ming, and Tyson Gay.
Well, first thing I'm going to tell you is that, again, there's an infinite number of metrics. So what we want to measure are things that are going to be very, very, very hard hitting. So guess what? If I'm looking at structure, I'm going to evaluate structure. I'm going to do a good kinesiologic exam. And nothing is more important than how stabilized their core is under load, and especially under the load that what they're going to be doing. And that's a really good part of chiropractic and kinesiology. When we look at nutrition, you would be shocked at some of the most elite athletes that I see and how absolutely terrible their nutrition is. And what it manifests as is a body that has too much acid, which means it's going to be suboptimal in terms of effectiveness. And then there's at least a low grade, and sometimes it's even a lot more than that, a high grade of inflammation. Now, when we look at that pyramid, and a fun label, Rakowski's nutrition pyramid, and you know what? I did come up with that because I happened to be lecturing in Orlando, Florida with the best-selling author, Barry Sears, who wrote the book, The Zone. And he put up a copy of, at the time, what was the USDA food pyramid. And his statement was so powerful. He said, if ever there is a terrorist-like plot designed to destroy the health of the world, this would be it. Now, understand that this is my nutrition pyramid, but what preceded my nutrition pyramid and presented at that same conference was my life pyramid: love, purpose, and discipline. But when I make a nutrition prescription, all of the above is included. I'm going to make sure that they're getting nature's foods. If God made it, it's okay. If man made it, throw it away. Superfoods, things like reishi, also known as Ganoderma, the consensus top superfood on the planet. I've been using that for all 3+ decades in clinical practice. And when I finally got clever by partnering with people that found a great way to deliver it through people in healthy coffee and teas, I'll tell you what, their results, my ability to help them get better fast, went up exponentially. Functional foods are an interesting category, and a spinoff of that is actually medical foods. These are foods that are proven to have a health impact in human clinical trial. And there's some for inflammatory process. There's some for detoxification, some for gut health, some for hormonal balance, and even more. And within that is often built in a multivitamin, multi-mineral. We're going to go with the activated or resolvent form of omega-3s. There's over 1,500 published medical studies on that. Nobel Prize nominated research. If that was a drug discovery, it would have won the Nobel Prize hands down. Probiotics, we've got more bugs in our gut than we have cells in our body. And as I tell people, every living organism eats, drinks, and goes to the bathroom. The bugs in our gut are exactly the same. And here's the deal: good bugs eat poop and poop nutrients. And that might sound horrible to some people, but that's how wonderfully designed our entire ecosystem is. Whereas bad bugs eat nutrients and poop toxins. And the sad reality is, in this part of the world, the norm is to have excessive amounts of bad bugs and nowhere near enough good. And then finally, the combination of D3 and K2 at the top. Vitamin D, they found out now that it is so powerful. Every single cell type of the body has vitamin D receptors. And when you start getting, at a healthy level within the body, you prevent cancer, you prevent autoimmunity, you prevent depression, you help the body to grow and thrive. And sadly, it's a global deficiency. What are the key metrics? We start out with height, weight, strength, blood pressure, simple things that anybody can measure essentially without any tools. And how about waist size? They used to talk about the waist to hip ratio, but they came to realize that wasn't very accurate, because if someone has a really big butt, their waist to hip is just fine. But you want to look at the waist to height ratio, and your waist should never exceed half your height. Now, those are simple. Then I'm going to look at acid alkaline balance, stress resiliency, and let's not forget about the value of a good history. What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you thinking? How often are you pooping? How are you sleeping? All those other things. So I want to be complete in that answer. And then, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I want to honor that question with the answer it deserves.